All right, folks, we are live with the live stream, and this one's going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to it. We have Prepper Nerd on, and Prepper Nerd has created something that's going to be really great for the preparedness community. As a lot of us know, with prepping, it becomes overwhelming at times. Oftentimes, it turns into hoarding. Usually, things are a complete mess. I've tried really hard. I'm usually very messy with most things that I do. If you could see my desk, you would see that it's very messy. But with my preps, I at least try to be organized with it, and I love PDFs and charts, spreadsheets, and organizing things digitally. Well, Prepper Nerd has taken it one step level, actually multiple times up a notch, and has created a prepping inventory system that shows graphical displays of how you're looking at with your preps and the stocks that you have, such as with your food preps, as far as keeping track of your calories and how many servings you have per people in your family, and showing stats and data to help visualize that to help you keep you on track. So with it looks like this. I mean, it's really impressive. So we have this chart over here. We're going to deep dive into it. We're going to answer a lot of the questions that you have with regard to this prepping inventory system and how to get started with it. So without further ado, let's bring on Prepper Nerd. Prepper Nerd is there, has a bucket with glasses on it. Welcome, Prepper Nerd, to the live stream.
Thank you so much, Cliff. It's a real pleasure to be here with all of you. Really appreciate the invitation to come on your live stream.
Yeah, I was us nerds have to stick together, and I'm always happy to support a fellow prepping nerd. So
that's awesome.
And you mentioned how you're pretty private as far as your privacy with your regard to who you are as a person. So we're going to be looking at the bucket for this stream. So
yeah, I am for now. I'm still a little camera shy, and as you can see here, I'm exposing some of my own personal preparedness.
Yeah.
Stockpile. So it's something I think everyone here can understand. We like to be private with who we share that information with, if anybody. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah.
So for this stream, we're going to be it's going to be mostly us as smaller boxes and I guess people are going to have to live with just looking at me. And then it's going to be mostly a narrative, and you're sharing your desktop right now for everyone, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Cool. This is the system itself. This is the dashboard. This is kind of like the hub of the whole system.
Awesome. So let's do a quick little hellos to everyone that has decided to come and watch us live. We appreciate the live viewers. So I'm going to just switch cameras angles here, and let's say hi to a couple people. So we got James Seller. Welcome. Hey, Tup. Hello. How's it going? We got feel free to thank. The Apex Prepper is behind the scenes monitoring everything. So it's really great. Prep for it. How's it going? Prep for it. Good to see you again. The preparedness guy, thank you, Jonathan Wilson. We have a lot of people, it seems like, that are interested in getting their preps organized, and it's going to be fun for this next hour to talk with Prepper Nerd to really show how we could take it up a notch digitally. So
yeah, I'm seeing a lot of familiar names in the chat here. So
yeah, a lot of friendly faces. So
thank you, and thanks for joining the live stream.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Denise. Denise is always awesome. Prep Forward's always awesome. The preparedness guy is always awesome. Wendy Robinson's always awesome. We have a lot of awesome people over here. So it looks like people are just saying hello to. We have homegrown homesteaders, Gloria, Molly. All sorts of people. Freedom. Yeah, there we go. So let's get started maybe with an introduction to you as far as your background. We by your name, we know you say that you're a nerd. So maybe we could talk a little bit about some of the nerdy background, and then how you got started into wanting to create this prepping dashboard and prepping inventory system.
Sure. So yeah, where I get the nerd from is really all of my focus and background in software development. I used to, develop software for a large part of what I did for a living, and coding applications using Visual Basic and other coding languages, and that evolved into website development and a lot of work automating processes for whatever company I was working for at the time, and so that experience led me to using different tools, and as I advanced in my career, or evolved in my career, I guess, one of the tools that I'm a real big fan of right now is this tool that you're seeing right in front of you. Yeah. This dashboard is built, or the whole system is built off of a platform called Smartsheet. This isn't an advertisement for Smartsheet by any means, but I just wanted to share, this is just something that I feel, is the right tool for the job for a number of reasons. And I think that you'll see what I mean by that as we go through kind of some of its capabilities and how I've put things together, and the privacy and security aspect of it that it offers is, just top notch, something that you wouldn't be able to get from a homegrown, app that you might find on an app store, for example, right?
Yeah. And it goes beyond, like, because a lot of us probably use Excel maybe to track some things, but from our talks that we've had, it's a much more robust and powerful system that almost takes like it takes metrics and uses a lot of analysis to help you drive towards decisions, and does a lot of the legwork for the setup for you then.
Yeah, I mean, Excel could do a lot of things. I have a lot of experience with Excel, probably 20 years of experience with Excel. So, that was my first solution, right? So when I started prepping, back in January or so, I was watching a bunch of, or I got into watching a bunch of prepper YouTube channels, including yours back at the end of last year, and kind of made me hypersensitive to, what was going on. The end of 2019. And it made me hypersensitive to what was going on, back early last year with the pandemic and so forth. So, I was kind of ahead of the curve, and I started prepping in about January of last year. And I quickly realized that I needed to get organized, because I just had stuff all over my house. I had things in bins. I don't have a prepper pantry. Some people are ultra organized. They've been doing this a long time, and that's awesome. They don't need necessarily an organization system, like on Excel or something, because they're so well organized just in terms of how things are physically stored and accessible. That's not my situation at all. So, and I've come to find out that that's true for a lot of other people,
Yeah.
I started with Excel and took it to where I could get using Excel, and realized, what, this really isn't the right tool for the job. I think there's a better tool. I tried something, because what I was looking for was something I could use online too, so that I could access the information on the go, maybe in the store, when I'm shopping, to figure out what it is I needed to focus my dollars on. So then I went to I tried Google Sheets for a little bit, and then I realized, wow, I have experience with this thing called Smartsheet that I use all the time at work.
Yeah.
And it's a really powerful tool. I'm just going to try to build something there. And as I started building it out, I realized, wow, this is a really great platform. And it's got so many capabilities that just you can't get out of something like Excel. But it's just, everybody has their own preferences for the type of tool they want to use. And I just happen to be a nerd and like the most techie solution. No, but it's not necessarily the most techie solution, but I think I've set it up in a way that makes it intuitive for people, because I have lots of people that are already using the system. Probably, well, I know close to 100.
I see a lot in the chat room already too. There's already coming in. So
that's awesome. And yeah, I mean, they tell me all the time, how easy it was to get started, and that's really what the most important thing is making this as accessible as possible to as many people as possible, to support the community.
Yeah. I think it's awesome that you're leveraging stuff that you do on a day-to-day basis at work towards preparedness, which is something that I've tried to do myself, because I work in software engineering as well, and we use dashboards and various wikis and stuff like that, and the way that we organize stuff from like a software point of view, I've tried to apply it towards preparedness types of stuff. And I think that's something, 15 years ago, I think more of the preparedness people were coming from a military background, and they're leveraging the stuff that they did through the military towards preparedness. So now we're kind of taking it to 2021 now, where we're taking this software techniques of project management and office type strategies that have been tried and true in the software engineering field, and really applying it towards getting better with our preparedness and our organization. And because really it's like a software system where there's a bunch of components, and they're interworking with each other to create an overall system of modules and components. And so I love that you have a way now of being able to strategize things from a high level.
That's exactly right. I'm just trying to offer my strengths to the community. I have strengths in software and technical things, and I've learned so much from so many YouTube channels and people sharing their experience and their skills, and I just felt like, and the community is just amazing. I mean, this just as well as I do, but the support of this community for each other is just something I hadn't experienced before online, prior to being introduced to to the prepper community here. So it's just an amazing community. And, I felt like I wanted to give something back to the community. So, originally when I put this together for myself, I started thinking, could other people benefit from this? There's so many people that are great people in this community. I'm like, what if I just let people sign up for it and see if anybody bites, or not bites, but has interest, as if it would be valuable for them. I didn't realize how much demand, so to speak, or how many people were looking for something like this. And I get emails all the time, when people sign up for the interest list, that it's exactly what they've been looking for. I think a lot of people have done research on prep tracking systems, whether it's apps or whatever, and they just haven't found the right solution. And it's just amazing feeling to be able to offer something to this community that so many people find valuable.
Yeah, well, it's obviously resonating with people. Everyone seems to love it and enjoy it. We have a lot to get to. I didn't know these comments are coming. I'm trying to display them as we can. And we're going to also talk. I know some people are already talking about some of the privacy and security stuff, like this one, as far as when the government comes knocking to your door for hoarders. So we'll talk a little bit about privacy and security, but maybe we should probably get going with people. Some of these comments are pretty funny. As far as there's a spam category I heard. So. They say prepper nerd is really an AI. Yeah, that might be true. This might be a giant hoax, everyone. I think Michelle, you might have called it. So
that's funny.
Positive preparedness. Maybe we should get started with. Getting started. I guess what's our first step?
Well, so I'm a little I'm struggling a little bit with how detailed to get with this. So tell me if I need to speed up or slow down or whatever, because
okay.
A lot of this information is available on my YouTube channel, but I want to give you a good feel for, what's available to you through the dashboard and some of the, other aspects of the system that support all of this. So,
and before we get going, just a reminder, hey, we've talked about a YouTube channel. The Prepper Nerd has a YouTube channel. You need to subscribe to it. So there's a link in the description box for that YouTube channel. I've included it over there. Just make sure you click it. Make sure you subscribe to Prepper Nerd. I'm going to put my screen on really quick. There's Prepper Nerd's channel and a lot of good information over there. And then you could also find the information with regard to the prep inventory dashboard. So let me put it back on your screen then. And there we go. Okay. So maybe first steps for people that are unfamiliar with the inventory system.
Sure. So in terms of the dashboard, again, this is kind of like your hub, your starting point for the whole system. What it all really boils down, at least from my perspective, is how much do we have stored up? How much do we have on hand? And that's represented by this widget here, either in days or weeks or months. So I know this is how much how many calories worth of food I have on hand based on my family's needs. And I'm going to show you this real quick because it ties in directly. So this is the sheet where you would enter what those needs are. Okay, so it starts with, and as you can see, it's just an online spreadsheet. So if you have familiarity with Excel, this is going to look really familiar to you. It's got a similar look and feel. So what you start off with is, how many days of food is your goal? Are you looking to store? And for me, I started at, I was shooting for 30 days and then I was shooting for 90 days and then I was shooting for 6 months and on and on. Yeah. At the point that I'm at right now, I'm pretty comfortable with where I'm at. And that was based on a goal of 365. So the goal helps you push toward something that you feel you've accomplished in terms of your preparedness. And for me, it made me, feel that sense of accomplishment. It felt good to reach that milestone. Yeah. Because otherwise, before I implemented this, it was like, okay, I've got 3 months of food. Is that good? Is that bad? Well, that's all relative. It's all relative to what your goal is. What is your sense of the risks that you happen to be preparing for, right? Each of those risks might have different levels of preparedness that you need to account for. So anyway, simple number of days that you're shooting for to prepare for, and then your calorie needs for each person in your family. That equates to a total caloric need per day. And then, so based on the caloric need per day and based on the food that you've logged in your food inventory, the system's able to calculate this and make it available to you at a glance here on the dashboard. And by the way, this dashboard is, and the whole system is actually able to be used on any internet connected device. So this is the way it looks on a desktop or a laptop, but it can also be used on a tablet or on a smartphone, which was really handy because on a smartphone, I can, like I said, I can, if I'm in Costco, I can pull this up and go, I forgot, what my focus should be for this run, and that's where I kind of refer to this graph down here, but I'll get there in just a second. So here's your progress toward goal. It's just a simple visualization of the calories versus, calories versus how many days your goal was. A few, interesting pieces of information down here, like how much have you prepped in the last 7, 30, or 90 days. As you can see, I'm slacking in the last week. It's been a busy week for work, but otherwise it just shows me, am I on pace for what I'm planning to put back. So, and then down here, another informational widget in terms of the amount of time until the best by date for your food. So these numbers over here is the number of days of that you have on hand for your whole family. So you can see here, for food that's over 3 years until the best by date, or even for long-term food storage, like rice in a Mylar bag in a bucket, that equates to 133 days worth of food for my family. So that's helpful because you don't want everything stacked up in this column or this column, right? I would think I'm pretty happy with the way that this graph looks because most of my food is in the long-term category. I'm happy to address any questions.
Is the prep system specific for mainly gravitated towards like your pantry preps, your food storage? And I saw someone already asking about cat prep. So I guess I imagine that's not the cat tourniquet. I think that's for pets. So can you integrate your pets' food needs as well into this?
So the purpose of anything that has to do with calories is your family's needs. And so, the way that I've implemented it is that there's a category in the supplies and equipment inventory list that I can show you a little bit later if you want, where you can track, pet food, for example, so you can, exactly what you have on hand in terms of pet supplies. So, but the nice thing about the system, though, guys, I think it's really important to understand is, the way that I think about my food may be different than the way someone else thinks about their food. One of the people early on, he was a YouTube channel that had a lot of interest in what I was doing really early on. He gave me some great feedback, and he basically explained to me that the categories that you use. He was talking to me. He said the categories you use, Mike, are not how I think of my food. I think of, oats. I would have categories like oats and barley or things like that. I don't have those categories. That's not how I store or track my food. So the point of this is that the system is completely customizable and configurable for each person's preferences, and that's actually the first step when someone signs up. Is that they share with me what their preferences are, right? And one of those preferences is what categories do you want to use to store your food? They may be, I give them some default categories, basically the ones that I use, but they can use those, or they can, come up with their own list of categories if they want to.
You can make clever names for, you could have junk food or crap I like to eat, or it doesn't seem to matter. It doesn't have to be legumes or whatever.
Yeah. So my point in saying that, I think, is, if someone wanted to track the calories for cat food in with the rest of the calories for the rest of the family, they could have a category for cat food if they, if they really wanted to. That's it's perfectly capable of doing that.
Very cool.
So, we've got a couple of visualizations here. This is days of calories per category. So, as I hover over these, you can see I've got 37.3 days worth of calories of flour. So that means if my family ate nothing but flour, right, or use that as an ingredient, that would be sustenance for 37 days, right?
Okay.
Or rice, if we ate nothing but rice, from a caloric perspective, we'd have 34, 35 days of rice on hand. But no one wants to eat nothing but rice. So that's why I have this visualization down here. What this represents is balance. It represents that you're not going to end up in a situation where you're eating only one category of food. So what this shows you is based on your total stored food, right? For me, it's 12 months, 12.3 months. That's the 100% level. Okay. So if my food preps were in perfect balance, then all of these categories would be at 100%. Okay. Obviously that would never happen. It's not a perfect world. It never will be. So I've got some categories that are above that level of balance and some categories that are below that level of balance. So what that means is if I'm at Costco or wherever I shop, I can pull this up and I can see, okay, where am I under 100% significantly that I want to focus my dollars on today? Like meat, I'm short here. In terms of snacks or condiments and dressings or dessert, that's probably where I'd focus my dollars, is the meat category.
Now, I had a really quick question for how easy is it to enter in all this food? Is it something where you could scan barcodes when you're shopping at Costco, for example, to add to your inventory, or how does that go as far as the data entry?
So this is the data entry. This is one way to enter data is through the sheet. And again, this is has a look and feel like Excel. It just happens to be online. And so, it's as simple as inserting a new line and giving it a category.
Mm-hmm.
Type in whatever food description here. Call it the storage area. Here, let me move my window a little bit. Okay. Storage area. I happen to have some bins in my dining room. My wife doesn't like that.
Yeah, no, mine wouldn't either.
Storage container name, got a bunch of different, container names, whether it's bins or buckets with different names, just to make sure, when I'm looking up food later, I know exactly where it is. Enter the Best By date, enter the serving size, cost per package. This is actually something I'm toying with. That's a new feature. Most people, the vast majority of people that I've set up don't have this because it's only been requested by a couple of people. But if there's more people that have interest in tracking the cost per package for their food, we can do that and figure out, how we could leverage that information. This is another one that a couple of people have asked for that I'm kind of toying with. But then package quantity, servings per package, and calories per serving. And then based on all that, it makes the calculations. But so it's just a matter of, entering the data into each of these cells. So it's pretty simple and straightforward, but you're right. There is a barcode feature. Cool. As you can see, we've got a column here for barcode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here where I see these blue icons. That means that row is enabled for barcodes. Okay. So it's just as simple as scrolling down to the bottom. You just take a barcode. I'm just going to copy this one. Let's just say you're in your garage after your Costco haul and you're putting food back and putting, for me, it would be putting food away in bins or what have you. I can just take out my phone, pull up the sheet, point my phone camera at the barcode on the food product. Yep. And populate this field, and then it will populate the category, default category, the description, the serving size, right off the label, awesome. Servings per package and calories per serving, which then populates these other. As soon as I get the package quantity, because I might have bought one, I might have bought three.
No, really quick. So when you're scanning these, is if I was to scan a bunch of stuff over at Costco, and would other people be able to leverage the same information it's like inventory? I guess a global variable, I guess, or is it specific to my inventory?
That's a great question. So as soon as I enter, so let's say I enter a barcode that doesn't exist. Yeah. It's going to tell you no match. Okay. So then as soon as I start, adding information, including the food description category and those other fields that you saw automatically populate, right? That information, this system will recognize that doesn't exist in the barcode database, if you will, right? So there's a sheet that contains all of it's like the master sheet of barcodes and this other related information. So it'll recognize that this barcode doesn't exist in that sheet. And as soon as you save this, that barcode will move, or that row will copy over to that other sheet. It goes through kind of a staging process where it goes to a sheet where then I approve or make changes to the information to ensure quality. But then once I approve it, then it'll go into that master barcode sheet, and then it'll function like any of these other ones. Like,
so it's not like someone could then scan a bunch of Linda Carter photos or something and have it go into the inventory system.
Yeah, there is definitely a quality control step in the process.
I had a couple other questions. I see them in the chat room as far as I think Amy Fresh was recommending that. Is there a way to manage different wants and needs if different family members? And then I know someone was also asking about what's the calories based off of, like, did you base your calorie number off of like average military age male or what? I think those might be tied in with each other. So I figured I'd ask them both at the same time.
So the calories is defined by you.
Cool.
So, in this first sheet, this is the sheet that I recommend people go to first. You enter your goal and you enter the number of calories that you want to prepare for each person. That's completely personal choice. This, when you originally see the sheet, it's pretty much empty.
Yep.
So you'll define how many calories you want to prepare for. It's up to you. And then based on that, everything else calculates. And then, sorry, what was the first question?
Well, you answer both of them. So you could do it based off of individual people, and then they could have their own profile as far as the calories, and then I think that's what it was. So cool. That's what I was asking about. Then there's all sorts of questions coming in too.
This is another really key aspect to the system is a second link here in the needs and wants section. This just allows you to specify how many servings per day per person you want to be able to plan for. Because you think about preparing food for some time where you're not going to be able to get it, and you need to rely on your own stockpile, your own inventory of food. There's some food categories where you're going to eat, a lot of servings per day. Like, for example, I have a category called ingredient that's like somewhat of a catch-all for stuff that wouldn't be eaten on its own, but it goes into a meal, for example. Or some categories where you're not going to want to eat it every day. So you can specify. For me, I'm planning to eat a serving of beans per day per person.
Yep.
So, and then, if you do that for each of your categories, and then that's what feeds into this graph that tells you, based on those preferences that you've set personally for yourself and your family, this is the balance in terms of how much you have on hand of each of those categories in terms of servings.
Awesome. And I see questions coming in. I'm going to try to get to it. I mean, everyone seems to be really liking it, and they see multiple applications of use for it. That was like the next question I had is like, right now we're talking a prep dash, our calories, our food and stuff. Seems like people are like, man, will this work for preps other than food, such as aluminum foil, soap, toilet paper? And then someone else had, that was one of the questions and I saw someone else was talking about gardening. I think, Dana Martinez there. Can you apply this tool towards other preparedness topics?
So it sounds like what you're talking about is what I've solved for here with the supplies inventory.
Yep.
So everything that's not caloric in nature would go into this sheet. So
ammo, equipment, health.
Yeah, okay. It's got different types of categories. It's not caloric information.
And can you set goals then for those categories? So, for example, let's talk. I want to have a year's supply of toothpaste, I guess, or does it display as well?
So yeah, that's what this sheet is for here. The supply daily usage sheet. So you can specify. Okay, and I haven't actually thought through this for myself other than toilet paper, which I still need to
Yeah.
figure out whether that's the right amount. I think I need to rewatch your video about how much people use per day. I think you had a video on that a year or two ago. But, you can basically specify, similar to the other sheet for the food, how many units you'll use per day for each of your supplies categories. And then what that does is in the supplies inventory sheet, and this, one of the last columns here, this will tell you how many days on hand you have in terms of units of that category.
Awesome. This is all really cool. I see a lot of spreadsheet nerds in here. Amanda Lee, there's a spreadsheet nerd here. This is stinking cool. And I think a lot of people are echoing that. Oh, special thanks to Jepco for the super chat. Do you have a 2A cat? Yeah. So Jepco, if you saw there, they had one. If you want to have it all for ammo, I guess you could do that through that particular section there. So
hey, Cliff, can I jump in here with?
You can do whatever you want. The floor is yours.
Well, hey, I wanted to see if people could guess, some of the top categories of food that's been tracked in the system. Like I said, I've set up pretty close to 100 people. So there's a lot of food that's already gone into the system, and I've pulled some reporting kind of at a global level. And the top 10, just a little tidbit here, the top 10 categories out of probably 30 different categories, but like I said, people can define their own categories. Top 10 categories represent 80% of the calories that have been stored in the system.
Wow.
So I was just curious if anybody wanted to venture a guess as to what the top category is.
All right, let's see him in the chat room, and I'll bring him up.
Yep.
So the top categories of food items then, right now.
In terms of calories stored.
Great.
Calories.
So, I mean, I know peanut butter has a lot of calories that people store.
So total calories entered into the system for this category.
Got it. Cool. And while we're waiting for some of these chats to come in on to answer the question, that are you able to print this easily? Does it print to something nice that you could put into a spread, like something that you could print out in a notebook?
Yeah, I just printed mine out today. I print them out every couple of weeks because as preppers, we're prepping for situations where we may not have power. So you can't use a system like this online if you don't have power. So I print it out every couple of weeks, and I just click into this and print.
All right, so people are coming in here. I'm just going to go rapid fire what people are listening. So we've got Gene with canned food, Freedom with beans and rice. Let's see, Digital Prepper, you just made it. Okay, welcome to the show. The Furby Prepper, first aid. I don't know how many calories for first aid, but the Robinson says beans, canned goods, water. Looks like Prep For It says they needed Excel for Dummies book first. Rachel Rochelle, beans and rice. Pervy Prepper is rice. Okay, Digital Prepper's on board now. Okay, rice and beans, LOL. Rice. People are liking the OCD. This eases my OCD. Yes, this is great for OCD. If you have OCD, I'm down with OCD. Yeah, you know me. Denise is saying pasta. We have all sorts of stuff coming in here. Sugar, lipids. What else? Honey.
So in terms of
what's the correct answer?
In terms of the category that has the most calories, total calories entered by users of the system is rice.
Rice.
That's probably not a surprise to a lot of people, but because I think that was probably one of the first things that I started prepping long term. Storing things in Mylar bags and buckets was rice, and the second top category is actually beans. So rice and beans. There you go.
Rice and beans. So, and I'm a lot of people know that I'm half Puerto Rican, and so we're always eating rice and beans. But yeah, I kind of have to have some of the flavor stuff there too, because having plain pinto beans and plain rice isn't as fun as having pork flavored beans with extra seasonings and stuff. So
yeah.
So Prepper Book, what was the question? So no, we're sorry, Prepper Book. The question, I didn't get the question. So it's also fun. Yeah, the question was the top calories. So this is cool. Yeah, people are loving color coordinated charts. I think we should have some T-shirts for my prep dashboard. I think would be Amy Fresh is saying snacks. Okay, and someone's already wanting a prize. It looks like I got the correct one. What's the prize? So maybe we could talk a little bit about maybe like how much does this cost? Because this is a lot of work for you to do all this stuff. And then we could also dive into some of the privacy and security stuff, because I know us preppers were always concerned about our privacy and security. Maybe we could talk a little bit about both of those things. Whatever one you want to start with first.
Okay, let me start with privacy and security, because I think that's probably the top concern for people that would consider using a system that's online.
And I know you've touched on this on your website, on the YouTube page too. So.
I have a whole video on this, so I won't go into that level of detail. But you know, I have experience in my career, in my profession, dealing directly with Smartsheet on you know, basically, you know, a legal contract between my company and Smartsheet. And, you know, one of the things that I learned in that experience is that, you know, Smartsheet is used by many companies that would have the most strict requirements in terms of privacy and security. And, you know, that would be protected health information. They've got, you know, clients that are health plans, you know, providers, things of that nature. And, you know, so they wouldn't be able to use Smartsheet if Smartsheet was not at the leading edge in terms of privacy and security, right? Encryption, you know, just controlling the permissions and access so that only the people that, you know, are, you know, given, you know, provided access to certain information, you know, they're the only ones that can get in there and see it. And that even includes their own employees. Their own employees are not able to view the data unless the account owner invites them to do so through the front end, through the interface. And what I mean by that is through like what you're seeing here. Like if I shared this with someone at Smartsheet, and the only reason people would do that is for support purposes. But I have so much experience with Smartsheet. I've been using it for the last 3 years, building really complicated, complex solutions that are far more complex than what you see here. And so, you know, I would never need to share any information or even, you know, even of my own information with them. So there's, you know, I just, my primary point with that is that, you know, it's protected even from their own employees. Mm-hmm. So, so that's pretty robust. And, you know, aside from that, were there any other specific questions around security and privacy that I can address?
Well, I know a lot of preppers are probably concerned, hey, if I put all my food storage into this database that's online, then like, the government's going to come take all my food if they were to get that. I don't even know if you could really address that type of thing. But I'm trying to imagine what some preppers might think about putting that kind of information out there on online services.
Yeah, you know, I mean, from that perspective, I mean, any of our activity, I hate to say it, online, is being tracked, and not necessarily for malicious purposes, but it is being tracked. So that data is available and stored, you know, sometimes for long term. So, you know, regardless of what you're doing online, you know, just from watching YouTube videos, you know, that all of that information is stored. So in terms of, you know, them, I don't know who I mean by them, but you know, in terms of the government, that government question, you know, any online system would have to comply with laws, right? In terms of, but the data is encrypted, and like I said, the employees themselves can't even get access to the data. So, but that is a great question. I can look into that further and address that question specifically in an upcoming video. I didn't, you know, that wasn't part of the negotiation conversation.
And it's not, I mean, this isn't being used for illegal type stuff. I know a lot of people have Fitbits on where they have their how many steps they're walking per day, which is technically is data that's out there too. So I mean, it may or may not be the right tool for everybody, but and if people have that much concern about that particular topic, then you know,
totally.
People are a lot of great questions. I'm trying to get to all of them as best I can. If I can't verbally speak, I'm at least trying to flash them up there. I know that someone's asking about is the system online? It's entirely on. No, you can print it. Prepper Nerd said that he prints his regularly, it looks like. Let's see. People are calling you AI, I guess. So Uncle AI. That's funny. It would be great to download the spreadsheet. Yes, you can download. So you can download the spreadsheet, right? People are still asking that part.
Yeah, so I've got this report, this pre-configured report that you can just click and print like this, right?
Yep.
Or in terms of exporting it, you can go into your food inventory and you can go File, Export, and export to Excel.
Yeah, it looks like Casey from Cascade Dispatches. I'm coming for your tasty beans. Okay, so you have an open invite for my tasty beans anytime you want. Dispatch. I'll make you Puerto Rican beans later. So people are asking about what's the pricing system for this gem. So maybe we could talk a little bit about that.
Oh yeah. So I just wanted to say kind of up front in terms of addressing that question that, I'm not looking at this as a business. This is not something that I'm looking to make a profit on. For me, this is more of a ministry. That's just kind of like the way that I look at it. I started this by giving it away for free for a while, just while I was seeing, how much people wanted it and what we could make out of this. So that, even today, I'm not able to do that anymore because I'm pretty much at the limit of what my account will let me do in terms of setting up new users. So for every certain number of users, I incur an additional cost, and that comes out to about $3 per month per user.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just basically looking for people to help out with my cost. I'm just like passing that through. And so I'm basically, I've put up a checkout page now that I'm having to start charging people because there's been such great demand for it. And the price that you'll see on there is $50 per year.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I charge per year is because there's some initial work on my part, manual work to get you set up, as well as some initial work on my part generally in the beginning from a support perspective. So, so I have to kind of, protect, myself in terms of my time so that I'm not, charging someone like $2.50 for a month. And then I've spent all this time and set them up. And then, they decide that they're not going to use it or, some people, you'd be surprised. They'll sign up for something and then they don't use it. But,
you want to, put their money where their mouth is, at least because if it takes work for you to configure them up with it and then they just don't use it, then it's kind of a waste of your time. I have right now, I have your website up. So if you go to prepper-nerd.com is where we're going to get started with that. And they can join the interest list because this is not like a infinite number of availability from my understanding. There's a limited number of slots.
Well, yeah, that's true. Cliff, what I'm doing for your live stream is making a certain number of spots available, and they could actually go directly to the checkout page if they're ready to move forward with this. And I don't think I've mentioned that there is a coupon code that's available to you because, like I said, the pricing I'm planning on putting this out is $50 at some point, so that I can actually be compensated for my time. But I just wanted to do something for you and your community and offer something of value above and beyond. So I'm actually offering a coupon code for $20 off per year. So
Awesome.
So instead of $50, it'll be $30, and that'll be on a yearly basis. So it's not like it's going to go back up to 50 next year. It'll just be 30, perpetually. So
wow.
The coupon code is TUP, TUP.
Oh, TUP. I'm going to put it in the chat room. Use the coupon code TUP for, if I could type, for $20 off. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. Hopefully a lot of people that like this will apply to that. I mean, for $30 for organization, I spent $30 on lunch today for Jimmy John. So for myself and the kids. So
I'm just trying, honestly, Cliff, I'm just trying to get it out and make it as accessible as possible to people. I know that, it is a lot of time for me to get people set up and to support them. But like I said, part of this, I look at this like a ministry, and I'm just trying to give back. And, if this is going to grow long-term, then potentially there's something there for me. But, at this point, right now, at this time, I'm just looking for my costs to be covered. And, $250 a month, if you look at it, which is $30 a year, is, I think, pretty doable for most folks.
So for the cost of a 16-ounce coffee over at Starbucks, you could be organized with your preps then. So
there you go.
Once a month. And this is very cool. And again, the links, this is from a Freedom for once, 30 a year. I could dig it. Nothing is $30 a year anymore. So their watcher is already saying it's a good deal. It's definitely a good deal. And it really gives again, prepping is such a vast topic, and it's so easy to get overwhelmed and where you can't even think about this. So leveraging computers and the charts and everything for this kind of thing is great. Oh, it looks like we have Little Miss Prepper is making her appearance on the live stream. Do you want to say hi?
No.
You don't want to say hi?
Stop the TV.
I'll be down a little bit.
Plug the TV.
Okay, so
I know what that's like.
So, sorry, folks. You know that Little Miss Prepper always comes on the live streams for various times. Daddy will be back, eh?
No,
Okay.
Mommy, you don't fix the TV.
So let's see. I'm going to take some additional chats over here. Let's see. Good for preppers. Let's see. You're awesome, prepper nerd. Keep it up, my friend. That's from Faithful Prepper. Little Miss Prepper. People, you're gonna have to say hi, or you have to keep going because we're on the live stream.
Dad,
You could say hi, and then we could go, and I'll fix the TV. Okay?
I tried to watch TV on Netflix, and I tried to watch my movie on Netflix, but you messed up the TV.
Says nice one, Dad. Yeah, to do the live stream. I connected the internet cable. I unconnected the Netflix, put it up here for the live stream for this, so I had a nice good signal. And now it's messed up the Netflix for Little Miss Prepper. So
yeah, don't mess with Netflix.
what did you do? What did you do, Cliff? The TV already. Hi, Little Miss Prepper.
Hey, so real quick, I just wanted to point out for everybody that
Okay.
This is kind of the initial view of the dashboard. What I was showing you before was kind of what you can expect it to look like once you've been using it for a while, and where all of the categories are kind of filled in. You can see your balance and all of that kind of thing. When you initially get set up, it's just like a blank slate, right? So all the widgets are here and all the links are here. And once you start filling in the information like your needs and wants and start adding some food, then it starts to look more and more like this. And you'll find, I hear a lot, and I experienced it myself, that as you start entering the food, it becomes more and more motivating. It becomes kind of a self-motivating thing, that as you start to see this dashboard take shape, it kind of motivates you to do more and more and get into a good habit of logging the inventory and tracking things in an organized way like this. Also, I'm not sure, Cliff, if you're still attending to your daughter.
No, I'm here.
Not a problem. It's not a problem at all. I completely understand. I just want to point out, there's some, links in this helpful info section. This is just a link to my YouTube channel. There's a playlist there for new users and getting started. There's a shelf life reference, which I can show you. These are things that are kind of in their infancy and will be developed further over time, but it's like just reference information, right? One-stop shop for, how long things will last, packaged in different ways. So, yeast in the freezer, indefinite shelf life, that kind of thing.
Awesome.
So, yeah. And then, okay, here we go. And then let me go back to mine. And then recommended resources is like, links to articles or, mostly online articles in terms of, different questions. I'll click into there, what should I start with? Bread flour versus all-purpose flour. These are just kind of sample beginner topics. And for each of the sheets, there's a way to suggest an edit or addition, so we can really build this into a nice repository of information that's available to you anytime, anywhere. Recommended channels. There's a bunch of recommended YouTube channels, and then a canned food reference, which. Oh, this is, yeah, I had forgotten about this because I don't actually use this. As you can see, it's only got a couple items in here so far. I just put this together, but it's really a matter of, for any specific type of food in a specific size storage container, what are the most correct measure servings per package and calories per serving. So you can use this information when you're entering canned foods into your food inventory, because obviously canned foods don't come with labels. So
Yeah.
some people have asked about reference for that. One other thing, since I'm not hearing you, Cliff.
Yes,
is,
sorry, I'm still here. There, it kind of went out for a little bit there. Sorry.
Oh, it's not a problem. Can I cover one other thing other than
totally.
the prep inventory system? Is actually something that I have been working on recently, due to some requests that I've had from community members, and the problem that they were telling me about was that there's so many great channels and there's so many live streams going on these days.
Oh.
And sometimes YouTube can be inconsistent about telling people, when those live streams are, and so forth. So I've come up with this TV guide, if you will, for prepping
for preppers?
live streams. Yes. So you can see here, this is just an example. I just put this together a couple days ago. But the idea here is, obviously for people to know what's going on and when, and even for channels to kind of find a good spot for a live stream that they want to schedule, based on other live streams that are going on at the same time. I kind of sprung this on you, Cliff. So
yeah, who would have known that there'd be like a TV guide for preppers someday? And I think that's awesome. Yeah, that's someone said the same thing. Yeah, it looks like TV guide. Yeah, that's for me. I have to sync with the other prepper channels because I try not to do a live stream at the same time, like Alaska Prepper or Alaska Granny or one of the other Sutton's Days. Any of the other YouTube prepper channels are doing their live stream too. So if we have this awesome TV guide for preppers, now we can know when the live streams are going on all the time. How do we contribute to this TV guide then?
Well, yeah, I think this is
let you know about it.
Yeah, similar to when I put together the prep tracking system, it was really just kind of an experiment. So the question is really, are people going to use it? So
yeah.
If you like this idea, what I would need to see is I need to see you going to it and referencing it, right? Because then I can tell the content creators, the YouTubers that are doing their live streams, this is how many people are looking for this information, right? So that would encourage them to post more of their schedule, and as they post more of their schedule, it'll encourage people to refer to it more often. So it's kind of a chicken and the egg thing. But for the meantime, I'm going to try to keep up on people's live stream schedules, the ones that I know about. Some live streams aren't scheduled; they're just kind of spur of the moment. But the ones that I know about, I'm going to populate this calendar so people know what's going on. And if I see people are using it, then it'll just grow from there. And then
great, like maybe a newsletter or something that's sent out weekly. Hey, here's the weekly live streams for kind of like going to concerts or something locally in town.
It's a great idea.
I love it. I see Alaska Preppers here too. I just contacted Alaska Prepper the other day. I'm like, hey, what time's your live stream? I want to make sure. Rudy's awesome. Everyone should subscribe to him, by the way. And then I also saw the Lady Liberty Preparedness here. Everyone needs to subscribe to Lady Liberty Preparedness as well. Rudy. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. That's great.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So cool to have the support.
From Rudy was one of the people very early on, very, very early on. One of the first people that really talked through this idea of the prep inventory system with me. And that was just such a valuable conversation to me because, he gave me a lot of encouragement to move forward with it and to, how to approach it in terms of, getting it out to more people and, whether to charge for it, that kind of thing. So really, really helpful from a strategic perspective, and really supportive. A lot of the YouTube content creator community, and including Rudy, have been very, very supportive of getting the word out, and I'm just so very thankful for that.
Yeah, I saw someone's asking a question. This guy's almost losing customers because no one is answering our questions about, is this solely internet based? So you could, from my understanding, you enter the stuff we're watching a live stream, it's internet based, and you enter the information internet based. And if you want to print it out, you can print it out, and then it's locally based, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's internet based, and then you can, like you said, print them out so you have hard copies.
Yep.
And that's what I do every other week.
This is man, I really love the TV guide for preppers. I think that's awesome. I hope the other prepping channels. It'd just be awesome to have like your weekly guide for what to watch because live streams are getting more and more popular. It's a way that we can interact with people, with fellow preppers in real time, answer all these things. But we all sometimes, like I'll have my live stream going and Angry Prepper or someone else will have the live stream going at the same time. And I think there's a way that we could all kind of coordinate with each other to have almost like TV time slots. So I love it. I think it's awesome. You probably should get the domain name before. Maybe I shouldn't have said that on the stream. So,
well, it's just on my own site, cool. preppernerd.com TV guide. And I saw a question. Yeah, you've got it up. Are these times Eastern? They are Eastern. So I should add that to this description. Yeah, these are all Eastern time.
Okay, great. Man, this is really cool. There's this another question on. Let's see. Can you use a scanner gun with this if you own one? Like,
yeah, I don't have experience directly doing that. I know someone else has asked about that's using the system. I didn't hear back from them yet on whether it worked for them or not, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. I mean, you've got your scanner plugged into your laptop via USB, I expect, and it's just reading the barcode and translating that into a number and feeding that number into wherever has the focus on your computer, which as long as you have the focus in this barcode cell, that's where it would place the number. So yes.
Yeah, I love it. It seems like we could get into a system where we have our laptop or tablet or something that's over in the kitchen when we go grocery shopping, just get the scanner, just start scanning barcodes and getting our inventory up to date. And maybe I can envision having like a dedicated, I don't know, like an Android tablet or something that's on magnetically attached to the refrigerator, where then you could display like the data there. It seems like
you're taking this to a whole nother level, Cliff.
smart home for preppers. Then
there you go. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to try to answer a few more questions because I know that we've been going for about an hour. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Can you edit it offline though? That's a question from Notify.
No, you can't edit it offline.
You need the internet for this. So.
Yes.
And just print weekly.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, however often you want.
Do you access through a browser? Yeah, from my understanding, it's browser based, right?
Yes, it's browser based. You can use it on your computer in any internet browser. You can use it on tablet or smartphone using the Smartsheet app. So part of the setup process is that you get invited to join my Smartsheet account. And then once you join the account, then you can download the mobile apps and use it from any internet connected device. Yeah.
Awesome. And I did some recent videos with my prepper phone or my social media phone where I use the Brave browser, go to the site. So I'd go to Prepper Nerd or to the My Prep dashboard, and then I'd create a add to home button where you could add that browser instance to your home, and then you just press it kind of like an app. So you don't need an app then. So
you can do that too.
Cool. There's a few more questions here. I just wanted to get thank you so much for the super chat, Travel Nurse Prepper. It's really nice. Glad I tuned in tonight, and I want that TV guide. Yeah, we all want the TV guide. That's you already blew us away with this prepping inventory system, and then not only that, you threw the live stream prepper TV guide on us too. So that's
yeah. I figured I just wanted to get some exposure for it. Cliff. Yeah. I know I did spring it on you. Sorry about that, but
I love it. No, yeah. Yeah, please. This has been really cool. So again, we've been talking to Prepper Nerd. If you're just tuning in now, you're a little bit late. We'd like to thank all the preppers for coming in on this one. We have we should bring in Apex Prepper. He's been I love nerding out on all of this to see if he's still.
Cliff, can I cover something real quick? Just
Please,
one
please
other point. So there's some features that I haven't actually gone into detail on that are available in Smartsheet. I haven't covered them in my YouTube videos yet, and I plan to do so in the near future. But one of those is filtering. You can see here, you can easily pull up your list of any category.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty handy. Another one is automation. And what this allows you to do is, for example, one way to use this is, when one of your food items is approaching its best by date, you could get an automatic reminder email or alert in the software for that item. So it's kind of nice to point out things for you in an automated way.
That is awesome. So wow. I feel like we need a part 2 on this. Like the introductory course now. We could go into the more advanced. There's some funny comments. Again, does it work on Netscape? Does Netscape still exist? I don't. That's funny. This is for Peppering Penguin. Well done, Prepper Nerd inventory and a TV guide for live stream set. Thank you for starting the week well organized. So that's awesome. By the way, Prepping Penguin's awesome too. So stay tuned for it. I think he has a channel coming out as well. So
awesome.
Smash that like button. Make sure that you subscribe to Prepping Nerd. This is Prep Forward. Thank you so much, Prep Forward. This is a fun one with Prepping Nerd, and we're going to be after this. I think we're hopping over to the Discord server to say hi to folks. I know Denise and Prepping Penguin and all the folks over at Discord are doing this. Looks like everyone really enjoyed this one. I have an early work early Aeon. It's been a blast. Best endeavors, Mike, Cliff, and everyone here in the chat. Good evening, and a lot of cool emojis there. So this one's been a lot of fun. Where's Bernie at? Let's see. Bernie, the Apex Prepper. Okay.
Hey.
Yeah, we did it. This was a fun one. Did I miss anything? Was there any specific questions that you had? You're speaking with Prepper Nerd.
There was a couple actually. One of them, and it was one that I had actually posted, but I noticed a couple other people had asked as well. Do you plan to evolve this into like a phone app or some sort of application, whether it be PC or Mac or phone application?
Well, so that's one of the nice things about Smartsheet is it already provides that capability. So there's really nothing that I could build in terms of a computer application that would be better than what we see here using an internet browser to access this information online. And Smartsheet already has an app available for mobile devices. But there are some limitations, and there are some ideas that I have that could kind of take this to the next level. But that's down the line quite a ways, I'm just not there yet. But there's like I said, some certain limitations that a custom app could solve for, with kind of Smartsheet acting as the back end, the database of it.
So since Smartsheet already has, and for the non-technical people out there, so if Smartsheet already has a phone application, then you could not just use it on your PC, but you can also pull your sheets up on your phone as well. That's right. Yep. It's all synced. Yep. Okay, good. So, I mean, in a way, like you said, it's kind of its own application in itself, which you're just utilizing. So perfect.
People are saying hi to Bernie too. I know a lady is Bernie. Cascadia Dispatch thought was Bernie sleeping? Yeah, he might have been sleeping. We're talking about your mittens. Where's Bernie's mittens? Where's my
my mittens. Wait, where's the
That's funny. Well, cool. This one's been a lot of fun. It flew by really quick. We even had a little Miss Prepper cameo about the TV.
That's a privilege.
Yes.
I had a blast, Cliff. Thank you so much again for having me on. I really enjoyed it, and thank you everybody that joined in the chat. Appreciate you being here, and appreciate the opportunity to answer some of your questions.
This was great. So again, everyone, if you're just tuning in now, if you're watching the rerun, make sure that you go over to prepper-nerd.com to check out the prep inventory system. It's right over here on the screen. Again, super awesome way of leveraging technology to organize your stuff, because it could be overwhelming to think about all these, okay, my daughter has this many calories for her thing, and I have this, and then we have this and this and this. There's all sorts of that. It could get overwhelming, and Prepper Nerd has helped solve a lot of that for us. You could print it out. You could, we're even talking next gen smart home for preppers technology, which is really cool. It looks like there's a lot of nerds that are in the chat room. So this is our kind of chat room, I think. So also make sure that you go over to Prepper Nerd's YouTube channel. Did we get it over UK? You got over 1K. That was we were talking about that last time, because I think you were around like 900 something. Officially past the 1K mark. Let's get it up to. Let's at least get it up to 1.5 by I don't know, next 72 hours, I think. So if you guys aren't already following Prepper Nerd, go over to the YouTube channel, link in the description box, and go subscribe to the channel. And then also you could learn a lot more about the prepping inventory system on that. And make sure that you use the coupon code TUP, T-U-P, and that'll give you $20 off, which is awesome. That's 40%. Jeez Louise. It looks like people are just dropping in now. We got everyone's thanking you for that. A very innovative Prepper Nerd. A great chat from Mark Olson, Digital Prepper. Awesome stuff. Thanks. We got Jade over here. Thanks, guys. Prep for it. Thanks, Prepper Nerd. That's Uploadify, who was asking about Netscape too. So Rogue Preparedness. Oh man, we missed the Rogue Preparedness in live, but you got there at the end. So hopefully you like the rerun too.
Cliff, I think you have a link directly to the checkout page in your
I do
your notes down below. So if, you can either sign up for the interest list, or you could just go directly to the checkout page if you want to get started right away.
Yep. Awesome, everyone. Thanks everyone for watching this live stream. If you're watching this now in the present, please make sure that you actually you could smash that like button at any time. But we appreciate all the live viewers. Thanks everyone for doing the super chat, for being so active and having great questions. We tried our best to get to all of those. And a special thanks to Prepper Nerd for not only putting this together, but also talking about it, in addition to giving us a surprise with the Preppers TV guide. Which
that was cool.
Live stream.
That was very cool.
That was big time. So that's going to be. And is this a free service? The TV guide for preppers?
It is. Yep. Absolutely.
That's free.
Very cool.
That's free. So it looks like Rogue Preparedness just subbed. If Rogue Preparedness subscribed, then you have to subscribe too. So hopefully everyone's subscribing. Cascadia
I did.
Dispatch, great. And special thanks to Alaska Prepper over there. Great live. I need that Prepper TV guide. Yeah, we all need that Prepper TV guide. And that'd be cool. Then we can just watch. Maybe someday we'll have 24 hours of prepping streams just ongoing, and we'll just hop over to the next one. It'll be like,
I believe it,
Netflix for preppers, or
yes,
the new
Prepper Roundtable
is on. Yep, Prepper Live Roundtable. Oh, let me watch the new Rogue Preparedness one. Oh, let's go.
I never even watch the news anymore, Cliff. I just watch Prepper live streams.
I mean, on the news, you never get someone like Little Miss Prepper jumping in mid-run and complaining about the TV. So it's you don't get that authenticity that you do for live streams. So. Well, again, thanks everyone for watching this one. Thanks to Prepper Nerd. I think we're going to hop over to, if you want to hop over to the Discord server, you can do that, and we'll go from there. So again, thanks everyone for the support, and stay tuned for more videos. See you next time.